and a Rebel alongside me in the comms box for the first time today. For the first time in a while, it seems, and Team Secret on the losing end of this series, currently having lost that opening game to Saigon Buffalo. And now that we're on the Rift, I want to talk about Froggy, because Froggy is playing the Galio. He's playing these hyper-roaming champions, I almost want to say, that he played a lot of during the Winter Split, that he's kind of become really well known for in the VCS.
He's known for poorly, though. I have been making the point that he is not that type of player and that he shouldn't be that type of player basically since last split as well. That's a good trade on the bottom side of the map, but it's just Yuhao losing quite a bit of health. But yeah, when they are actually kind of forced him to get out of the laning phase and force him to sack CS and things like that, that's when the lane starts to look a lot worse. That's when Froggy from like his original split really starts to pop up. I much prefer giving him the ability to skirmish and be able to jump waves and things like that, but not forcing him to move out and about to help cover things. This is a composition where it feels like he is a little bit more forced than normal to actually make interactions with his side lanes.
Now, we've spoken about the diving potential that Saigon Buffalo have, but we haven't spoken about where the junglers from both teams want to be looking. Where do they want to be getting that advantage? Because for me, looking at Saigon Buffalo, it looks like BJ can look everywhere. And he's looking towards the mid lane. It's a flash for flash. The taunt will land. A charm will pull Rocky under tower. The winds of war come through. BJ picks up first blood for Saigon Buffalo.
That was a very slim margin that the side of Saigon just operated on, and I have to give them complete props. The combination of Froggy being able to flash, use the bonus movement speed, and be able to get on top with just the taunt to set up the play from BJ. They burned 2 flashes, but again, the early game punishment and getting damage into a Volibear is okay to start things off. Interestingly, like the response to your question, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect Penguin to try to cover for topside, because Ezreal usually is pretty safe. This is the remainder of the play. Again, that so close on the taunt being able to be missed. And if Artifact gets out of that situation, like you're feeling great right there, trading off the 2 summoner spells, because eventually you're going to have more mobility than the Galio is going to have. But importantly, I do think that it's Volibear has actually 3 great lanes to go ganking for, because again, Galio getting broken out is going to be helpful for setting up for around the team fights in top or bottom side or around neutral objectives. Playing into your Camille or playing into your Tristana are going to give you a lot more damage for your team fight. And so this is just a smorgasbord here for the side of BJ to be able to go feasting on around the map.
And when you do look towards the side of Team Secret, and I'm kind of looking at which champions are going to be strong in the early mid stages of the game, I'm just looking at Ahri and Lee Sin, and if you can force this Ahri behind, it might be difficult for Team Secret to match Saigon Buffalo in some of those fights for, let's say, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th Drakes of this game. And
that's why I think the Lee Sin's job is a lot harder than what the Volibear's job in this game. Not only is it difficult to interact jungler to jungler, but trying to find the right position in the map to attack it. It feels like Hero is the one wrong decision you can make, but going after Ahri again sets up, like you said, a stronger kind of mid-game champion to be able to work with around in teamfights, a lot of pick potential as well. But you're playing into basically a single threat type composition. Hosmed also bullying a little bit of Hero on the top side here.
Well, Hosmed did a lot of bullying in Game 1. That time, he was playing the Malphite against the Jace. Now he's playing Camille against the Galio. A little bit more damage available to Hosmed, and making full use of it as well. And as a result, they've kind of got priority. And rocket jump forward. Shogun picks up what seems to be an easy kill onto Yuhao, and it's Saigon Buffalo's 2nd kill of the game.
It's easy enough. I talked about before the series had even started, probably before you showed up to watch the desk, about how I'm in firm belief that Saigon Buffalo basically has more talented players pretty much across the board. The one conflict that we had was whether or not Artifact was actually more comparable to Froggy. I had said that it's more likely that Eddie is comparable to Shogun than anything. But for the most part, I expect Saigon to be winning ambiently in their lanes before anything else is kind of added into like, the equation. And you see that pop up here. This is just a pure 2v2 win, which Taki is able to exploit with the Rel CC. Look, how dangerous is it to be able to actually utilize a champion like this to have that kind of a CC chain? And even after the flash comes through from Yuhao, even through the aftershock, it's just not enough to be able to deny the kill onto Shogun's Tristana.
Well, this early game is looking comfortable for Saigon Buffalo. But when we start to talk about and think about how the later stages of this game go, we talked in the drafting phase about the all-in potential for Saigon Buffalo, about that huge wombo combo. But Team Secret, they've got, let's say, a slippery composition. They've got a lot of tools to be able to deny and slow down that engage. And if they can force Saigon Buffalo to waste some of those critical engage tools, all of a sudden, Saigon Buffalo might be finding themselves in a bad situation for the 2nd part of a fight, as Hero or Hexic Ultimatum locks him down. Oh, it's going to be the Hero's entrance on top, the Hero able to flash away. And this is, I guess, what we were talking about, because now Froggy's used that ultimate, there's a big window where Team Secret no longer have to worry about the mid laner roaming.
I will give props over to Hero for playing that one just about as perfectly as possible, because not only is the flash used just to make sure that he gets out of that situation safely, but the ultimate is used to deny BJ access for additional CC to make sure that Froggy's ultimate would land. And so he dodges out of Froggy's ultimate immediately as soon as the Hextech ultimatum is denied. And it opens up a play to bottom side, because obviously now they know exactly where Saigon was. They realized that they would have had to reset and then come back to bottom side. And so Penguin is going after the dragon of his own volition. He should be able to snag it very, very freely right here, and does so to pretty easy degree. So good punishment from Team Secret against Saigon, just looking to attack side lanes to the best of their abilities with the Galio and the Volibear combination. Not able to actually make it happen right there.
Saigon Buffalo using their proactivity. They try to make a play happen, unsuccessfully so, and it opens up Team Secret and Penguin more specifically to be able to pick up the first streak of the game. Don't let that fool you though, it is still Saigon Buffalo who are in control of the early stages of this game, a 1.5k goal lead. But for now, Team Secret sitting back, and that's understandable, especially when you look towards their side lanes as Artifact. Has to be careful of that taunt. We've seen it go wrong once before, and once bitten, twice shy for Artifact.
Yep, making sure not to get punished by the same move twice in a row. You can see another roam up into top river, because obviously 10 seconds away from the Rift Herald. Hosmet has a pushing top lane as well. That means the Hero, he's got tier to be able to stay himself sustained up in terms of that regard. Penguin also decided to clear towards top side in case this were going to be a play, but it looks like the immediate move from Taki and from Shogun is going to confirm all 5 members from Saigon are ready and raring to go around this Rift Herald, and they're not even needed. Nobody's really contesting. They understand, I think, on the side of Team Secret that there's no way that they actually breach into the river and yoink away this objective, so they're just going to send a Shogun back to the bottom side. Not going to let him give up anything too heavily to the Ezreal, which is, again, one of the problems that can come through from Team Secret as the game progresses. And it's more early game gold potentially in the pockets of Saigon Buffalo.
However, Team Secret don't just lose out gold for nothing. They're able to get one tower plate on to Eddie and get him slowly towards the stronger stage in this game. And playing on that Ezreal, he wants to be getting his Sheen item. He wants to be completing the mana item. And what is the power point for Ezreal right now? Is it 2 items, or are you looking more towards 3?
3 is typically the mark where I'm looking, because the first... Oh, actually, a little bit of shenanigans. This hookshot should get Hosmet out. Nice dodge of the Q. Okay, waiting for the bottom side as well. Not going to happen.
Arcane Shift will take Taki out safety. We've got a fight on the top side. Now's a 2v2. Good kick onto Hosmet, trying to deliver to Hero. Uses the belly slam to get out of the BJ ultimate. But Hosmet, he gets the adaptive defenses. Does he have the damage? Oh, the healing is huge. And it keeps Hero alive. It's a double kill for Penguin. But Froggy's making his way up. He wants vengeance. Can he get on top of the Dragons? Well, he's picked up the kill. How, we don't quite know, because for some reason we're looking at the bottom lane.
Yeah, we swapped the camera over to bottom side. It's a very scrappy fight inside of the 2v2. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong. I kind of want to see a full replay of everything that happened right there, because we were dipping and diving around. And Froggy is at least able to get something back in return for, again, Artifact, I guess, just crashing mid-wave if they want to. But it's absolutely a trade-off, and it's a nice play from Team Secret, because it looked like it could have been very rough, all things said and done. This is the engagement they have into Hosmet, and the cover comes through from BJ as he's just trying to deny any damage from coming through. It was a kick. Okay, Penguin was able to get a nice kick, and it dropped BJ enough health to be able to lose that one-on-one against Penguin. Hosmet tries to get in damage. The grass proc, though, and the W coming through as well. The healing from the combination of those. So it looked like it was the heal from the W that really did all this. And this is the question. Oh, okay, Hero just turned back into the Galio, I guess, just wanting to prevent him from full engaging under the tower, maybe pulling both kills. But at least it's something, because, again, it has been really rare for Penguin to have this kind of effect at the beginning of the game. Here, trying to salvage top lane at least a little bit with some aggression into Hosmet.
That being said, Hosmet does have a rather nice 20 CS lead over Hero, which, considering what we saw in Game 1, does not come as a huge shock to anyone. Also, can we give some props to Froggy? Froggy has been roaming like crazy, like he always does, and has a big CS lead over Artifact.
This actually happened in the last game as well, where like he was on the Vex and he was able to stay very consistent in farm against Artifacts despite having roamed a lot more, which is really impressive that they've been able to figure out a way that this has been working around Froggy's schedule more than being able to force him out of lane and have him drop like 30 CS out of absolutely nowhere. It's pretty nice kind of difference than what we see most of the time.
That bot lane out to tower is looking
gorgeous.
very low. Penguin is nearby, but Shogun, he can just drop down the explosive charge, get a few waters off, and that's pretty much first tower. Now the engage comes through. There's a hero's entrance on top. A good kick for Zhuhao in the focus. On the flag, drop down. Jack is going to fall in. It's a 1-for-1, but Saigon Buffo critically are able to pick up the first tower of the game. Meanwhile, on the top side, Harsmid are on half health, and Hero looking to chase, but the hook shot will take the Saigon Buffalo top laner out to safety.
Yeah, another roam coming through successfully from Froggy. Yes, you do end up trading 1-for-1, all things said and done, but the bottom tower being able to break out Shogun to the rest of the map and getting some additional gold into the pockets of the Tristana is going to be valuable pretty much no matter what the situation. This is the champion that's going to be able to pair with all of your additional dive and hopefully kind of change the game state for you here for the side of Saigon Buffalo. Not to mention, if you get Shogun into any lane that's got plates in front of it and you're able to actually kind of bring things down, you have the potential of bringing down, bringing in at least another couple hundred gold into your pockets in the next 2 minutes if they're able to kind of make that timer work, which it doesn't seem like it is. It seems like instead they're going to go for the dragon, they'll go for a full back timer here, and then maybe put Shogun in a different lane, either mid lane or top lane, kind of depending on where they want. It looks like top lane is probably a better option, all things after everything is considered here.
Oh, we actually got a bit of a collapse into Froggy. He was forced to flash away, and Team Secret, they're looking for plays everywhere. They dropped down the engage onto Harsmid, but maybe the explosive cast was prematurely used. Zhuhao on the chase just goes for the flash Q, and Hero follows up. Meanwhile, engage in the mid lane, they're looking for the kill onto Taki. Penguin's going to eat a tower shot, but will survive. Artifact with the auto picks up the kill, and it is 2 kills across the map for Team Secret.
That it is. BJ able to actually be here for Froggy, so there's not anything else. As the top lane gets aggressed against, this is why I wanted to see Shogun back pretty much immediately afterwards, or walk into mid lane. Because if you back as Shogun, you can kind of catch what happens on top side altogether. This is the play in the bottom side that we're seeing from a little while ago. Again, Froggy being able to get a solid move out. The CC on Taki kept him underneath tower, but it meant that the shutdown didn't go into anyone's real pockets, so the gold ends up just getting put into the pockets of Tristana more than anything. That's the important bit. But I really wanted to see Saigon not get caught up and swept up in like the tempo of the dragon that they were going for, and move Shogun elsewhere on the map quickly enough to prevent one of these bigger plays from happening. If he's in mid lane, they probably don't lose a lot of that mid lane play, and if he's in top side, then at least they can catch the wave and prevent any additional plays from going into Hero. Instead, both of those plays go awry, and Shogun was just pushing out bottom lane. So maybe you deny some minions from the Ezreal, but that's about all you get in exchange.
We saw the same kind of situation in game 1, I want to say, where the kills and numbers were relatively similar. This game, it's 5 kills to 5, but you look at the important number, and that's the goal difference, and it's Saigon Buffalo with a 2k goldie. That's all courtesy of being able to pick up the first tower of the game in the bottom lane, picking up the first blood as well, and getting so much gold onto a Shogun, who has that Kraken Slayer completed, looking towards a second item as Team Secret. Oh, that might not be a good play from Zhuhao. Will he get blown up? The rocket jump comes in. Shogun's going to be able to find all the damage. Shogun picks up the kill. Now the Magnet Storm dropped down. BJ still alive, and BJ will not fall. Shogun down to half health. Rocket jumps in, wants the kill onto Hero, and will be able to secure it. Artifact gets a good charm, drops down the Orb of Deception. Not enough to get the kill onto Taki, as in comes the Stormbringer. The tower is denied, and Artifact is on the run. Where do you go? You've got a red tower on one side. You got 3 members of Saigon Buffalo on the other side. There's nowhere to go, and Harsmid will pick up the kill. And just like that, Saigon Buffalo get 5 kills for nothing.
It's a big setup around this bottom river. For some reason, they decide that Zhuhao is worth fighting over, even though he loses his entire health bar. Yes, you actually put BJ into a pretty low state, but you can't even kill him with the ultimate on the back end. And who is contesting against Shogun? For the most part, nobody actually puts damage into Tristana, and it means all this additional engage kind of it prevents anybody from walking in and doing anything. And then, obviously, the play's just cleaned up from here on out. BJ being able to kind of disrupt the tower is humongous for being able to pick off the Ezreal and anybody else that's sitting there. Artifact has to run away, but it just doesn't matter. All of this CC, all of this AoE, you're playing right into the win condition that is set up from Saigon Buffalo with this composition, and you're giving gold to the important members over and over again. Not to mention the Rift Herald was still on the map. They didn't end up taking it, but they ended up taking top tower, so there's a ton more gold, again, in the pockets of Saigon that they can use to flex around the map with.
And right now, it is a big lead for Saigon Buffalo. Just like that, all of a sudden, the Buffalo look like by far and away the stronger team, and in a dominant position as well. And for Team Secret, they don't have any damage right now. You're talking about an Ari that is behind a Galio, you're talking about an Ezreal on one item. And now the Hextech ultimate comes through. Look at Taki, goes in with a 4-man Magnet Storm. Penguin is able to find 1 kill. Eddie trying to drop down damage with the missing shots. And actually, Team Secret are turning this one around. They look for Shogun. Rocket jumps over the wall, but the kill will go through to Eddie. Team Secret get the fight. Team Secret get 4 kills, 4-1. This game ain't over just yet, folks.
Not even close. It's a situation where Saigon, again, they lose a lot of their really important ultimates dropping into multiple sections, but there's no follow-up for Taki when he's able to hit a 4-man Magnet Storm. Like you said, it's another Rel engagement that ends up looking incredibly sexy, but because there's nothing behind it, and ends up not having any sort of tangible effect on the fight itself. Shogun is very single-target oriented, and so when he gets kicked into the middle of the team by Penguin, it makes his life so much more difficult than anything else. And you can see the ramifications of this. They get the Rift Herald, they come out, they're looking for a fight because they're like, oh, we have the advantage. 4-man Rel ultimate. Who's there to put damage? And Shogun's still walking up to the fight, and Penguin actually is what catches him off guard. And this is what's gorgeous about this. It's a hard-to-play composition. The damage isn't quite there, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible to play out from the side of Team Secret. And they actually make it happen in very convincing fashion. It's Saigon Buffalo that have to be a bit careful with how they play this out, because they've got the advantage. They've got the superior team fight, but you can't just be giving away situations like that when you don't have the vision to be able to go diving into the enemy jungle.
And it's something that we said earlier on in this game as well. Saigon Buffalo have this big dive composition. They have so many ults that they can layer on top of each other. But if Team Secret can break that apart somewhat, how do Saigon Buffalo deal with the fight? They're looking to go in for another play, but there are more blue members here than red members. Solar Flare's only going to go down onto Taki, explosive cast, buying more times. Hero's entrance dropped in, and we have a full-on 5v5. Good charm onto Froggy, and Froggy is taken out of the fight, and he picks up the kill. But Husband jumping in, and Shogun's going to be able to find 1 kill onto Hero. Being J-Lo, Taki going in once again. Husband incredibly low, but it's all on Shogun. Shogun has the damage. Shogun looking for Artifact, and Husband will end up picking up the kill, but it is Saigon Buffalo. This time we come out on top. 4 kills for 1. Shogun forced to look for the tower as Penguin is out of this fight, but Saigon Buffalo are going to chase Penguin all the way through his own jungle.
And it's going to be easy enough for them to capitalize even further on everything that just happened, because not only did they get the Dragon in the massive fight win, they're still chasing Penguin to this moment, but more importantly, the Rift Herald in the mid lane is actually doing a ridiculous amount of damage to the base of Team Secret, who kind of sacrifice everything. This fight does not go in their favor. Hosman's going to pull bottom tower as well, so that's a ridiculous gold shift back into the favor of Saigon Buffalo after they had just given a fight away. It is instead Team Secret who fumbled the bag this time.
Saigon Buffalo won the first big fight, Team Secret won the next, and Saigon Buffalo are just showing that there wasn't anything that bad with their composition. They just misplayed, and here's how that fight all broke out.
Look how clustered they are. Hosman's able to kind of drive 2 full members off to the other side. Froggy gets split between both sides of the fight, but this opens up for Shogun and for multiple members to put in all this damage. You can see BJ and Hosman being this front line, jumping in and allowing for Shogun to kind of focus into individual characters. He's not even touched in this fight. No damage dealer was able to even put an ounce of damage into Shogun over the course of this, because his frontliners are doing such an amazing job. Props to Shogun being able to jump in and out and kind of be able to dip and dive between members, but a lot of that was actually based around not only Froggy's entrance, but Taki, BJ, and Hosman being able to be there and set him up for success in very meaningful ways.
In the early stages of this game, it was Froggy who was creating the plays, who was playing incredibly well. And now, entering the mid stages of the game, is Shogun, who is stepping up 7-1 on the Tristana.
As he needed to be.
I wish we could see how much damage each member's doing, because right now I think Shogun would be through the roof.
Yeah, Shogun has done quite a bit of damage. My one complaint with Tristana always is that she's incredibly single target focused. And when you have multiple threats like an Ahri and a Lee Sin and an Ezreal, you have to be a little worried about that. But when you've got this much CC and this much kind of focus from multiple frontliners, it makes your job quite a bit easier. Which is why I walked into this game and I said, okay, Voshaden has the potential to happen from Saigon Buffalo if they don't get Tristana going, because a lot of these frontliners' main role is to just be a disruptor and to buy space for an ADC. And Tristana isn't like a Jinx where she can drop rockets into multiple members. Baron attempt here. Taki's behind the pit. He's going to catch out Penguin.
Good kick. Sonic Wave lands. Penguin can go in, and he will. Looking towards Ataki, who wins the Smite fight. Bound down to 1,000, is not being rushed down. Artifact is already being forced out of this fight. Shogun just free firing and will get the kill onto Hero. Penguin falls, and BJ will pick up the Baron for free. Zuhao on the run as Harsmed is chasing. He doesn't care that it's a 1v2, and he trying to drop down the damage. Will be able to pick up the kill. Flashing over the wall. Zuhao still being run down as Eddie desperately trying to find some damage back, trying to find the kill onto BJ, and he's able to get it, but he's taunted down, and Saigon Buffalo will clean up the fight. 4 kills, 4-2. It's only Artifact who survives.
It's a situation where, once again, I actually love the way that Saigon Buffalo play out this situation, and I don't want to talk about it yet, because the ramifications of this are almost certainly just a Game 2 win from Saigon Buffalo. They set themselves up for success. You can see they're in the pit. The Baron isn't quite in spiking range, but look at the counter engage. Taki combined with Froggy knock up 4 full members. They don't care about the Baron. Even if they lose it here, they are winning this fight handily before anything else comes through. So even if you lose a smite fight, something like that, this entire play ends up going incredibly inside of your favor for Saigon Buffalo, to where you can destroy structures. And yes, maybe the Baron buff helps install for another minute or two, but you can go to dragon stacking if you're on the side of Saigon. You cannot go to that win condition if you're Team Secret, because you're not quite there yet. Now, props to Eddie at the tail end of this, looking rather strong. His Trinity Force is fully stacked, and it means that he's putting out damage, but he is having trouble on the front end of fights really being this massive carry for the team that he needs to be, which is a bit of a struggle bus, because again, they don't really have someone to rip through all of this amazing front line so quickly that you could beat out Shogun.
But is this a start of some foreshadowing? Let's say we're starting to see Eddie's damage. The fact that he's able to get 2 kills on the back end of that fight, now with 2 items completed, a third one coming up as soon as well. And Taki maybe stepping forward too far. The charm lands, but he's able to jump out with the crash down. And Team Secret, they blow some spells, but nothing too serious use except for maybe the two-shot barrage. Saigon Buffalo continue to push. Team Secret continue to look for picks, but right now they're just trying to turtle, trying to ensure they don't give away any extra gold or kills.
Not at all. As a short-term answer to your question, the answer is probably not. While Ezreal is going to get strong in a game like this, resistances will continue to climb, armor can continue to climb for Saigon Buffalo, and you have really no way to actually burn through massive health bars like this that easily, especially if Shogun's in the area. And the problem with that fight was, I mean, he has Trinity, he's stacking up, he's going, well, this is a fight.
The fight has commenced. Taki is eating the brunt of Eddie's damage, and Eddie will pick up the shutdown. But the hero's entrance on to 3 members. Artifact being forced away, and Shogun has already found the kill onto Eddie. Rocket jumping for more, as the triple kill could look for Artifact, but that one might be a bit too greedy. They're going in under the tower. Suha will end up getting the kill onto BJ. There is a big minion wave, and Artifact will have to make the hero play. They're all jumping in. I think Harsman's going to die. No, the charm is missed, and the W doesn't have enough damage. The Orb of Deception can't reach either, as Shogun just powers through onto the Nexus Tower. Artifact trying the fancy footwork, but that's a lot of damage. Shogun, no, he's still alive. How has he not died? I don't know. And Saigon Buffalo, the greed for the kill. Rooftop barrage. He goes golden. Artifact will land the charm. Team Secret will get the kill. Harsmed teleports in, but he might be teleporting to his doom. Team Secret will keep this game going for a little bit longer.
I actually have never seen a game get go from winning for the situation of Saigon, where literally all they have to do is hit the Nexus, to being baited into a pentakill to lose out that situation. It's so painful. They haven't lost the game by any standard. They've done completely unmatchable damage to the enemy Jace. That's going to be near impossible for Team Secret to actually full hold if the full force of Saigon comes back together and actually ends up pushing. But I gotta give props to the side of Team Secret and Artifact especially, man. I've seen a number of times where turret dives or something where everybody is committed to the same goal. It seemed like at first Shogun was like, I don't really want the penta, let's just go for the game end. And then he's poking over and he's like, maybe I can get it, maybe I can get it. Rebel. I think he had extended too long anyway.
Rebel, I think everyone in the VCS server knows about my Ari first, but Shogun just took it to a whole new level there, baby.
It's something else, man. It's a situation that he was able to completely bait Shogun, and that again, the game was over. Like if Shogun sits there and auto attacks the tower, the game is completely done. It's done and dusted. This is the young ARAM strategy where you got to let your minions kill the ARAM, otherwise it doesn't count as an actual victory. It's a situation that Shogun was kind of standing resolute with those rules. I don't suspect that they're going to follow them the next time, because obviously Saigon is back on their winning ways. They're back to top side. They're going to push in as best as possible. They're going to try to take as much as they can across the map, because they are still ridiculously heading in this game. Shogun is unreal powerful, has the Guardian Angel now as well. It's going to be near impossible to shut him out of a fight very effectively.
Well, Team Secret are the gatekeepers. They're not allowed to go through the gate. They are not allowed to beat the top 2 teams in the league. And Team Secret are yet to take a single game off the top 3 teams. Thank you for that, Rebel. And Team Secret have yet to drop a game against any of the bottom 4 teams. And it looks like that trend may continue a bit longer. Saigon Buffalo continue to push forward, but Team Secret were able to pick up a few shutdowns. They were able to get an objective bounty, but they are still far behind in this game. A 10k goal deficit, and maybe this is a game-ending play. The Solar Flare dropped it down. They tried to get onto Shogun, but Shogun will survive. Penguin sadly will not. And Hazmed on the backside. There's a hero's entrance now as well. This is a 2v4 under the final Nexus tower. Taki and BJ are slowly making their way over. Somehow Hazmed will survive. The Nexus tower will survive for a bit longer as well, but Saigon Buffalo have that minion waver crashing on in. Shogun will drop down the damage. Taki will drop down the Magnet Storm. Zhuhao will probably fall as well. Taki will fall first. BJ the next. Now a teleport coming through. Shogun just running down for the kill.
There we
Picks
go.
up the second of the fight. And Saigon Buffalo will take the win. And Saigon Buffalo are 1 game win away from playoffs.
Again, testing around with some patience there at the